go into you taking this?
Was Tiki, my manager. He called me, and it was actually pretty funny because I was, talking with my fans. Oh, what event would you guys like me to see me on? I'd gone to like Disney on Ice at the Honda Center with my daughter a little bit before. I was like, man, there's gonna be an event here. This is what it's gonna be like. So I was already like imagining how cool it'd be, but I didn't think that I would get the call so soon, especially because I just fought in November, And then Tiki called me. He's like, oh, we got a fight for you. I'm like, who? Amanda Lemos. I'm like, oh my gosh, So I was so excited for Anaheim, but definitely when they told me against Amanda Lemos, I was like, that's a hard one. I really thought that for the perfect world, I think to fight her would be with a good camp, a longer camp. But then at the same time, it's like, how can you say no to this? It's like she's ahead of me. I'm just coming off of a loss. Usually when we lose, we have to kind of marinate that for a long time until we can get a win back in, and to be able to be fighting so soon against someone like Amanda Lemos, who's similar style with the knockout power and everything. She's not so much like crazy movement and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, she's ahead of me. She just fought for the belt, so I really feel like a good win over her can keep me, where I need to be, where I want to be to get to the belt. And also being here in California, I don't need to travel. It's just right here. So it was almost better. I really always wanted to be that type of fighter for the UFC where they can just call me and I'm always like ready to go. But yeah, just to be able to be here and kind of getting the 4 weeks, you don't really have time to overthink anything, It's just go and trust the process. And I really try to work my physique, my strength and training, and I didn't focus too much on getting the best technique and things like that. And honestly, I'm not even really worried about how I'm gonna look in this fight. I'm just going out there to win and go after it.
Yeah, you mentioned the similarities with Jessica Andrade. Is that part of the allure in taking this, like kind of redeem yourself? Obviously, that was a rough fight, and you kind of want to show you could beat a style like that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely Amanda has a lot, she submitted, we fought kind of a lot of the same girls. But yeah, definitely the fact that it's not a totally different style, it was like, okay, all the mistakes are fresh in my mind, so I'm really like excited to be able to correct that and show that it's such a big card too, pay-per-view, $298 with the best of the best basically here.
Yeah, what were those mistakes? Like, why do you think that was such a rough night for you against Jessica?
My two biggest lessons I took from that, I was trying to really show like, hey, I'm more involved, I know how to be strategic when I need to. I think going against Jessica, anyone who sees her, she tends to kind of come at you a lot, especially with her hooks, but she was coming with three losses where she was knocked out and submitted, all because she was kind of going forward. So we kind of wanted her to do that same thing. I knew that, she's so experienced, so she could come in this fight learning from her mistakes too and being more calm, which is what happened. Her corner the whole round was like, calm, yes, stay there, and I'm just trying to kind of just poke at her to get that opening so I could go for the takedown. But it's clear to me, I kind of just need to be more like Khabib and just go forward. That's my style, and keep them on their back feet and just pressuring and have them, concerned about the takedown and just me getting close to them all the time. It's almost easier to close them off instead of, being the strategic and giving too much opportunities for something to land, and that was one of the biggest things. And the second was just when I did land some shots, I got excited about it. And then I landed like a 1-2, and then I wanted to throw like a 3-4-5 instead of like, now is a good time to go for the takedown. Which I think is just really sparring and experience and getting that quick reaction when you see the opportunity, and I get excited. And when I land it, and I want to keep punching more.
Yeah, and just last thing for me, the last few fights you've been very open about, your personal life and all that stuff, which is appreciated, but maybe people questioned if that factored into your decision to take this fight, but hearing some of the other media you've done this week, it sounds like things are in a better place than they've been in a really long time. Can you just kind of talk about the difference between where you are now mentally and with your personal life compared to some of the recent fights?
Yeah, totally. I even said in some of the interviews, like in these 4 weeks, I trained more than I was able to train in the 2 months I prepared for Jessica. So just because that page was turned, thankfully, financially, emotionally, physically, just everything I could, how much I could dedicate to my camp, even though it was a short amount of time. I'm so happy of where I'm at right now. And of course, wins or losses, that's why I never wanted to, anything I talked about with my personal life, I know everyone goes through problems in life, it's normal, for sure we don't want to go through it like, with tons of people watching you and stuff like that, but yeah, the page is turned totally at a better place in my life, and it's like, a win or loss is part of life. It could happen. I'm prepared for anything on Saturday, but I'm definitely way more prepared to be able to give my best, and that's, for an athlete, that's all we can ask for, it's like to be able to go injury-free, stress-free, and, being able to be our best. That's why I think that's the best show for the fans and for sponsors and for everyone.
Mackenzie, a little off topic, but the Roadhouse movie comes out next month, and it was shot, but it's supposed to take place at UFC 222, which some people may speculate because you and Sean O'Malley fought there. Can you tell us anything? Do you know if you're in the final cut of the film?
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it, but I was there when I watched him recording it. I was watching it live. I was like, I remember watching Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know how to say his name. Gyllenhaal, yeah. Go in. It was really cool, and yeah, I remember like, man, 222. That's so cool, So yeah, I'm excited to watch it.
And then you're fighting in your home county, whatever. A lot of fighters, when they fight at home, they prefer to stay with the fighters in the hotel. Some stay at home. Which are you leaning towards, to sort of keep your focus going into Saturday night?
Yeah, I'm staying here at the hotel. I actually, I was supposed to stay here yesterday. I did my check-in, but I went home. It's 10 minutes from here, so I went back home to get some stuff, and I ended up just staying in my bed, at my house with my dogs. But like my daughter Moa, she'll be at home. I'm asking Mom if she can bring her down here just to say hi. She loves the UFC family, and they always treat her so good. So I always tell her, oh, everyone there, they're asking about you. She wants to come and see, and it's good. She likes to see, Mom, how, what I do and stuff like that. So she won't be at the fights, but yeah, it's in that mix. You have that comfort of your house. I'll probably still go to my house, maybe change my outfit or get a different, get something like that. It's really cool, but it's a different focus when you have, that hotel vibes. Even just walking around and you're seeing all the other fighters, it's a different energy, and you try to maintain that the whole fight week.
So a win over Amanda Lemos would be the ideal start for you, obviously, for the year of 2024. But what are other goals that you have for the rest of this year?
I would like to get the belt. I really believe even though I'm coming off a loss, I feel like I'm closer to the belt now, just of where I'm at in my life and how much I can dedicate to training and focus on this and prepare for it. So definitely the belt, and also to just, really working on stamping like who I am in the fighting world, in the fighting industry. I would like to make an appearance at the ADCC at the end of the year, come back and going to the ADCC, and that's a competition that I won. I'm a former champion, so it has a very special place in my heart. And just keep working on, I'm not even gonna say like my image, but who I am. I know eventually we'll stop fighting. So, and not in my plans anytime soon, but I want to be known and remembered, and I feel like everything that we put on the line, and all this hard work we go through, we want to be, and I think I've been going to a lot of the events, and I've been seeing like Frankie Edgar, DC, some of the people kind of getting into the Hall of Fame, and that's really like, that's where I want to be, so. Independent, of course, my number one goal is to be the champion, but when I start seeing, the stories and kind of the older generation, getting to the Hall of Fame and retiring and all these things, you start thinking about the long term and where you want to be and remembered as a fighter. So just trying to work on that, see how many people I can try and inspire and motivate, create my line, for women, I have like such a huge men's fan base on my social media, so just really trying to connect to the women's too, and the moms and that part too, and grow that part, all mixed in with getting to the belt.
It's awesome. And which one of those stories from those fighters that got inducted into the Hall of Fame stood out to you the most?
Oh man, I mean, I think Frankie Edgar's was probably one of the most that I got kind of like emotional watching it, you know, because it was just to see him. I saw him fight Chito Vera in New York, you know, in that fight and where he got knocked out, and it's just like I sat next to him and talking to him, and yeah, it's like just to see. He's a smaller guy, you know, so I kind of connected a little bit on his style, and it's like, man, how he accomplished so much, and it's just he's still fighting until, you know, just most recently, and it's like. It's amazing to see how they can, if you really want this, you can stay in this, you know, as long as you want. And kind of his personality, a father, the way he is, you know, it's really inspiring. So for me, that was one of the stories that I got the most. Like, oh man, that hit me in the heart.
That's awesome, man. You haven't competed in Brazil in a while, so you want to take part in one of the Brazil cards this year? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I know there's one, I think, in May. So thankfully, I'm able to fight so soon, February. Hopefully, no injuries after this, but I would like to get on that card in May in Brazil. You know, my last one there, I kind of got like a knockdown, and then I went to the submission. So I would like to be able to get another great performance in. It was actually one of the times when I didn't make weight. So now that I'm like, you know, had a baby and so much ever, and like it changed and everything like that, I would love to go there and have like a clean slate in Brazil and represent down there.
Awesome. Last one for me. Big strawweight title fight coming up soon between Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan. How do you see it going?
Zhang Weili. I think she's more well-rounded. From the grappling standpoint, when I saw her fight Amanda Lemos live in Boston, and I saw her, you know, grappling, I was really surprised. I didn't see that side of Zhang Weili. So, at least from my experience of fighting Yan, and she has that knockout power, and she's really good striking. But I think that Zhang Weili will be able to kind of win the fight on most of the areas.
Hey, Mackenzie, back here. How are you?
Good.
I think some fans were wondering, after Ruka shut down and we see you, you know, on like countdowns or in bed, it's, you know, getting some work in at the house. Just can you talk a little bit about your coaching and which bodies you do have working with you from week to week?
Yeah, I've been training a lot with Tiki and Paul Herrera at the Huntington Beach Ultimate Training Center in Huntington. Perillo, they've made their own gym, so it's not Ruka, but it's Tenora's gym now. So I kind of got back to, you know, working. It's been like short notice, so he's not going to be in my corner or anything for this fight, but they've been getting me in sparring. I've done some sparring out at Black House, who has been a team that have kind of helped me since the beginning that I moved out to California. So, I mean, the good thing that you're kind of in this through a lot of years, you kind of make a lot of good friends and contacts that are willing to help you and be part of your journey no matter what. So yeah, and then of course my dad, my husband, you know, they're always with me and helping me train and getting me prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, everything.
We talked a few years ago, obviously, introducing your daughter to jiu-jitsu and everything. How is Moa's jiu-jitsu coming along?
Yeah. We were just talking about that. Yeah, she's doing good. You know, it's I'm trying to get her more into jiu-jitsu. I like her base to be very strong, you know, in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if she'll go into MMA. I'm hoping she doesn't go into MMA, because now I understand what my dad feels like, to imagine your daughter getting hit in the face, you know. So for me, I can't even imagine her big and going through that, you know. But of course, if she decides that, I'm going to support her all the way. But I'd really like her to have that base of jiu-jitsu. I think it's important, strong. But like we were saying, she's already like, she'll take it down, but she has to do like a ground and pound before she goes to the armbar. So she's already, I think, because I had her in my MMA phase of my life, she's way more like an MMA fighter than she is like a jiu-jitsu fighter. Now she'll put the gi on, but she already wants to take it off and punch and elbow, and then she'll armbar you and choke you out.